the case against murder accused Tshegofatso Pule Ntuthuko Shoba has been postponed to 17th of January 2022. Shoba stands accused of masterminding the death of his girlfriend Pule. In 2020, Pule, who was 8 months pregnant when she was murdered, her body was discovered hanging from a tree in Rodiport in Gauteng. Shoba faces a Schedule 6 charge of premeditated murder. He was arrested in February after hitman Muzgaise Malipane implicated him in this murder. Well, let's get the latest from our reporter, Silindelo Masikane. Silindelo, good afternoon. You were in court. You're following these proceedings. Can you just tell us, give us some of the highlights of what happened in court today?
Well, quite a long day here in the South Gauteng High Court, where we weren't anticipating the beginning of the trial of Ntuthuko Shoba. He was here in court, shackled, carrying a notebook, seemingly trying to avoid the cameras, not really making eye contact. At some point I did ask him how he was feeling, and he said he was, quote, feeling all right. The proceedings, Bradan, took some time to begin. In fact, it was for most of the day a stop-start situation, where at the beginning we had some matters being postponed. At some point we were then waiting for his lawyer to arrive, and when we did eventually begin just after 2 o'clock this afternoon, his lawyer then alluded to the fact that they're actually going to need another postponement in the matter before the trial can begin, and that's because they haven't really had an opportunity to properly consult with their clients due to COVID-19 restrictions in the correctional facilities. Let's take a listen.
Difficulties are presented by the difficulties that everyone infected or affected by COVID-19. The consultation environment is such that it does injustice to privacy, and also, if I were to give my lord an example, that we use an intercom to communicate with the client, and around us there are other people that are still consulting. Sometimes the intercom goes dead, and then we have to jump from one cubicle to another, and there are documents that we need to share with our client, and which is also a critical aspect of which I will address the court more regarding our application to substantiate the postponement.
And Silindelo, what did the judge say about the postponement?
Well, the judge was quite understanding in terms of the reasons that were brought forward by Shoba's lawyers, saying that he understands that, there have been some difficulties in terms of the consultation process, but is hoping that the lengthy postponement will, of course, allow the lawyers to be able to properly prepare, as well as allow them to get their witnesses ready for trial. So the matter has now been postponed to January 2022, Bradan, and that is because of the diaries, the diary of the defense, rather, not allowing the matter to be able to continue this year, but rather in the new term, which is next year. And the matter has now been set down for 3 weeks from the 17th of January. And the judge was also at pains to explain to Tshegofatso Pule's family that while the postponement is quite lengthy, the matter is still quite new, or fresh, should I say, on the court roll. In legal terms, it's described as that it's not a red matter. So during other matters that were heard today, Bradan, there are matters that actually date back to 2016 that the court also still needs to deal with. So because this matter began in essence last year, they were at pains to ask the Pule family to just be patient and understand that the trial will be heard, but it just won't be this year. Let's take a listen.
To the following factors, namely the difficulties that the defense has encountered in these COVID times of properly consulting with the client.
Uthi ngenxa yokuthi ke kuye kwaba nenkinga yokuthi ummeli akwazi ukukhulumisana ke nommangalelwa ngalesi sikhathi se-COVID-19,
the fact that this is the first time this matter has been set down for trial.
Nokuthi ke liyaqala lelicala ukuthi libekwe phansi ukuthi lizokhulunywa.
It is not whilst it is desirable that matters proceed. This is not a red matter in the sense that it is a 2020 matter.
Noma sithanda ke ukuthi amaqala asheshe aqhubekele phambili akhulunywe kodwa ke leli alikabi icala elibi kangako ngoba icala la ngo-2020.
The fact that counsel for the defense would not be available from next week, and nor would his experts be available this term.
Okay, that judge's comment there, ending that report by Silindelo Masikane in court. Thank you very much, Silindelo, for the update there in the Tshegofatso Pule's case, which has now been postponed until January 2022.